Good morning, teacher.
Hi, Flor. Good morning. We're going to start today's class with a little game. So please join me on Kahoot, please.
Okay. Good morning, teacher.
Hi, Flor. Good morning. Sorry, was the recording. Okay, so so please go. I'm going to write the link on the chat. So please go to kahoot.it, and the code is up here. It's 8421610. Whenever you get there, remember you have to write your name or your nickname, and your name will appear here. All right, so let's start. We're going to remember a topic we've seen before, but we're going to explain a little bit more about it. All right, let's start there. Okay, the topic is relative clauses. Let's see if you remember. All right, we have to fill in the space, the woman, who, whom, whose, or which car you wash wants to pay. What do you think? It was actually whose, not because it was possession. Can we read a sentence with the correct response, please?
The woman whose car you wash wants to pay you.
Excellent. Let's continue. Okay, Jack. Who, whom, whose, which. All right, very good. Let's read the correct answer, please.
Yad, who has an important question to ask, is waiting impatiently.
Very good. Impatient. Next. Right, Flor. Mr. Jones, about who, whose, whom, which. All right. Yeah. It was actually. That's fine. Can we read the sentence with the correct response, please?
Mr. Jones, about whom my neighbors complain, is actually very nice.
Very good. So thank you. We're putting this little explanation about Mr. Jones between commas because it's adding a bit information. No? We can say Mr. Jones is actually very nice. No, but here between the commas, we're saying about whom my neighbors complain is actually very nice. That's why it's between commas, not because it's extra information.
In this case, why is whom?
All right, because whom my neighbor complained, well, whom is actually another use of who. It's just a little bit more formal. In this case, probably they doesn't know this person. No, that's why they're using whom, because it's a little bit more formal. It's like not very common, but it's just formal in conversation. But
okay.
they're talking about someone that they doesn't know. That's why they're using whom, because it shows some type of respect. No?
Okay.
Let's continue. Number 4. Mr. John's car. Who, whom, whose, which. All right. Let's read the correct response, please.
Mr. Jones' car, which I watched, was very dirty.
Excellent. It was very dirty. Let's see, next one. None of the cars. Who, which, that, when. What do you think?
I didn't see the question.
Oh, you couldn't see it? Sorry. Oh, so sorry. I don't know what happened. So the question, well, maybe you can read it. This was the correct response.
No one of the cars that we saw were red.
None. No, none is expressing like 0. None of the cars that we saw were. So sorry, I don't know what happened with the screen. Okay, let's continue. The car park. Who, whose, that, where. Very good. Let's read the correct response, please.
The car park where Mr. Jones left her car was almost empty when she returned.
Very good. They're talking about the place where they left the car. No? That's why we use where. Okay, next one. The car park. Whom, where, which, when. What do you think? All right, let's read the correct response, please.
The car park which Mr. Jones chose was inexpensive.
Inexpensive, it's the opposite of expensive, no? And the car park, which they're talking about a place, no, or a thing. Well, it's an area, no, it's a thing. So, which, that's why we use which, no, because it's not a person, it's an area. All right. The driver, where, whom, who, which. All right, very good. Let's read the response, please.
The driver whom Mr. Jones insulted stopped her from driving out of the car park.
Excellent. So in this example, they are talking about a person, no? The driver, and whom, again, because we're talking about someone that we don't know, and we're just using this to express some type of formality, no? Formality or respect. Next, very good. The driver, who, whom, whose car was blocking. All right. Very good job. Could you read the response, please?
The driver whose car was blocking Mr. Jones' car seemed very annoyed.
Excellent. Again, they're talking about possession. No? All right, let's continue. Mr. Jones bought a car on the day when, where, which, what. All right. Um, let's read the response, please. Great job, sorry.
Mr. Jones bought a car on the day when the price of cars rose.
Excellent. Rose is the past participle, well, the past of rise, no? It means like it go up, it increase basically. And they're
Okay.
talking about a place, or what, sorry, a moment, no? A time, a day, and this specifically. That's why it's when, no? So then very good. Next, I have a few books. Which, that, when, who? All right. Um, so let's read the response, please.
I had a few books that might interest you.
So I know we can use both. However, when we're talking about things, at least in English expressions, is more common that. It's usually more common that. And here they are talking about books, no? Which are things. So that's why the use of that. Okay, next. The second book, who, which, that. All right. The second book. Let's read the response, please.
Sorry. The second book that my teacher recommended was really boring.
Except it was boring. Now they're talking about the book. So because it's a thing, no, usually that is more common, at least in English. Very. Okay, next one. The thief or the robber, if you want to call it. Who, where, which, whose.
The thief is the person?
Yes. It's this one, no, like in the first one that takes things that doesn't belong to them. Oh, you couldn't respond? Okay, that's fine. Let's read the correct response, please.
The thief whose fingerprints were on the car didn't have a shame.
Did not have a chance.
Did not have a shame.
Again, because they're talking about the thief fingerprints, no, who they belong to the thief. That's why it's who, no, it's possession. Next one, the man who got let borrow his umbrella. So we have to correct the two sentences. Which one do you think it's correct?
Mm, I think yellow.
Right. Yes, yes, you guess correct. Can we read the sentence, please? The
The
answer?
man, the man whose umbrella we borrowed got wet.
Excellent. Correct. So,
Borrowed is the past participle.
yes, is the past participle or past simple of borrow, no? Um, borrow is the affirmative, well, present, sorry, and past participle or past simple is the same. Borrow because it's a regular verb, no? And we just add the ending. Um, and this verb means that you borrow something, no? You ask someone to give you something temporarily. That's borrow. All right. Um, we continue next. Three left. The dictator was very cruel. People really fear him. Which one? In which of the answers it's correctly put um, the word to put both sentences together? Well, it was actually great. Can we read the correct response, please?
The dictator whom people greatly feared was very cruel.
Excellent. So again, they're talking probably about, well, they're talking about like someone in a position of authority, right? The dictator. And probably it could be someone respectful, no? So that's why we're using whom, just to show some type of formality. The dictator on whom people greatly fear was very good. And we know that usually that, um, well, the other ones, not that, which, or who are used in informal conversations. This doesn't really seem that it's a conversation. No? It seems like it's something from an article or maybe from a history book, right? That's why usually they use whom because it's a little bit more for.
Okay.
The shop is in Paris. The terrorist killed 4 people.
In blue, and
It was actually right. Can we read it?
the shot where the terrorists killed 4 people is in Paris.
Mhm, excellent. They're talking about a place, no, which is a shop, and that's why it's where, not a shop where terrorists kill 4 people is in Paris, just because it's a place, not specific. All right, and finally, we know relative pronouns well. We learned them this year.
Blue,
Yes, great, great job. All right, let's read it, please.
I know relative pronouns uh, which we learned this year well.
Excellent. So because we're talking about a thing, no, and we're talking, well, it doesn't really seem again, now that it's a conversation. It's a little bit more formal, no, which is not as common. It's just That is a little bit more common in informal conversation, which we can say that it's a little bit more formal, just a little bit, when we're talking about things. No? That's why, no, it doesn't seem that it's a conversation between someone. It's just expressing something. I know some relative pronouns, which we'll learn this year. That's why they use of. All right, well, we already know that you you win. So let me share my screen. I'm going to explain this topic. All right. So we've already seen this topic, if you remember. So it's not really that complicated. Let's just remember a little bit more and see some rules. All right. So let me share my screen, and I apologize, I cannot turn my camera on. My internet is very unstable. Right now I'm using my cell phone's internet. So, so you can hear me and see my screen very well. Okay, Fleur?
Okay.
So today we're seeing this topic, now when we can use either who, we can use that to express or to show or to put two ideas together, right? Can we read this sentence, please?
I know the girl who gets good grades.
Excellent. Can we read the last one, please?
I know the girl that gets good grades.
Thank you very much. So in these both examples, we're talking about a person, and we know that when we talk about a person, we can use who or we can use that, right? Usually, in English, at least in American English, it's a little bit more common to use who when we talk about people. But it's also used that, not like I mentioned before, it really depends where you are. So in this example, the verb no is right after the well the pronoun, right? The relative pronoun, and usually it's in the tense that it's used, no? So for example, this is present simple. No? I know the girl who gets good grades. No? I know the girl that gets good grades. So the verb comes after the relative pronoun. Let's see a little bit more. So this is our review expansion, a little bit more, some details related to the same topic that we already seen. No? These relative pronouns can be the subject or the object of a relative pronoun. So can we read this example, please? Sorry.
Is Talia Santos the reporter who broke the story?
Excellent. Thank you very much. So in this example, who is representing a subject or an object, plural?
Subject.
Subject, right? They're talking, who they are talking about?
Talia Santos.
Excellent. So because they're talking about a person, like I mentioned before, usually who it's a little bit more common in informal conversation. No? And can we read a second example, please?
Yes, she's the one that I work with.
Excellent. So again, no, I can also use that when I talk about a person, but like I mentioned before, who is a little bit more common, but it really depends. No, it's where I'm talking or in the area, right, in the situation. So that's the first part. The second part, well, we already know that we can use either who or that for a person, right? Let's read the example, please.
Talia's the person who did the most to help me.
Mhm.
Talia's the person that did the most to help me.
Thank you very much. So in both examples, using who or that to talk about, like I mentioned before, not the subject, which is Talia. And like I mentioned before too, and we see in the exercise, we use, sometimes we can use whom, but whom is very formal, right? It's the same, but it's very formal. Can we read this last one, please?
This year, the most valuable player award goes to an athlete whom we all admire.
Thank you very much. So in this example, this seems like maybe this was seen, or this was said, sorry, in maybe a presentation, sorry, or maybe it could be in an article. No, it doesn't really seem that it's a conversation. These two, we can usually use them in conversation, right? This because it's a little bit more formal or very formal. It could be used in a presentation, maybe in an article, or like I mentioned before, sometimes when we're talking about someone that maybe we don't know or it's older, we try to show some respect and we can use whom, right? Because it's very formal. Any questions? Yes,
No, it's okay.
all right, let's continue. Sorry. So, well, we already know this. Now we can use either that or which for a thing. Can we read examples, please?
I turned down the job offer that I got at Newsbeat.
Mhm.
I turned down the job offer which I got at Newsbeat.
Excellent. So in these examples, Flor, what we are talking about? A person or a thing?
Is about job offer a thing.
Excellent, yes. And because it's a thing, we use that or which, right? In this example, though, that is a little bit more common than which. So usually people use that when we're talking about things more often. Well, like I mentioned, that is a little bit more common. Any questions, Flor?
No,
All right, let's continue. So let's see a couple more that we've seen before too, but let's explain a little bit. So where it's referred or it's used when we talk or describe a place. No, we're seeing a couple in the examples in the exercise. Can we read a sentence? Well, the question.
is there some place where we can go for a few minutes?
Excellent. So in this example, what they are talking about.
About some place.
Exactly, yes. So because they're talking some place specific, we use where, no? Is there some place where we can go for a few minutes? Obviously, because it's a question, no, the order could be a little bit different. However, the logic is the same, no? Every time that we talk and we describe a place and we are putting two ideas together and we use where, no? In this example, they're asking if is there some place, and they're also adding if they can go there for a few minutes. So we have two ideas, right? If is there a place, and also if they can go or where they can go, no, for a few minutes. So it's basically that. Any questions here?
No, it's okay.
Okay, great. So we've seen three, right? For we use for subjects, we use which or that. For things, we can use for people, sorry, we use who or that. For things, which or that. And now for places, we use where. Now we can also use when or that when we describe time, because also time could be considered a thing, right? So can we read examples, please?
It seems like it was just yesterday when we asked me to turn off the volume. It seems like it was just yesterday that you asked me to turn off the volume.
Excellent. So what they are talking about in this example?
It's about yesterday.
Right. So because yesterday it's a time, no, it will be considered a time, a period of time. We can either use when or that, not to express and put in two ideas, not together. But the most important thing here is yesterday. They're talking about period of time. And we can use either when or that. No, because it's also a thing. It could be considered a thing, not a period of time. And also when it's a little bit more common than that. Okay, let's see. I believe the last one. Oh, okay, and this one we already explained the first time, but we can leave out the relative pronoun in the sentence too. So let's read these first two examples.
There's something that I need to discuss with you.
Mhm.
There's something I need to discuss with you.
Excellent. In this example, we're leaving out, we're taking out that, no? And the sentence has the same meaning. Let's see the second example, please.
It's hard to find a time when we can talk.
Mhm.
It's hard to find a time we can talk.
Excellent. So in the same example, no, we're leaving out or we're taking out when, because they're talking a period of time, no? So the same sentence have the same meaning with or without the relative pronoun. No, it has the same meaning. We can just, sorry for the noise. We can just, when we want to be a little bit more specific, we use it. No, so the person we're talking with, they understand better. However, like you can see in the example, it's not mandatory to use it. No, I can just take it out or leave it out. However, with where, we cannot take it out. We cannot do the same with where. Okay, there's the example. Let's read it, please.
That's the juice bar where Nick Crawford like to go.
Excellent. So in this example, if we will say that that's the juice bar Nick Crawford liked to go, we don't understand. No, it doesn't make sense. So that's why we cannot leave out. We can't leave out where. No, we have to use it where always. Because if I say that's the juice bar Nick like to go, it doesn't really make sense. No, it's an incomplete idea. That's why we have to use where. All right. So any questions, Flor?
And for who
Uh-huh.
is the same case
Oh
of
yes,
where?
exactly. Yes, we can leave out. No, for who? No, for example, let's see. Oh, sorry. So let's see an example. We can say Talia who is working needs more time. So in this example, if we take out who, it doesn't make sense, no? So we can't leave it out. Just for when and that, it's very common to take it out, to leave out the relative pronouns, no? But it doesn't work with all of the situations. So it's especially when we are talking about that, we can take it out. However, in some situations we can. That's why it says not is very out. It's often. Sorry, it's often. No, it's not a rule. It's not saying that we can always leave it out. Sometimes we can. Sometimes we cannot. In this example, for instance, we cannot take it out. No, because it won't make sense. But in some situations, yes, we can take it out, but not always, no? Because it won't have the, it will be difficult to understand. We can, but not always. No, no es una regla general, digo. No, there are exceptions, like here.
Okay.
All right. So let me clear it up, please. No, okay, sorry, that's all. So any questions, Fleur?
No, teacher.
All right. So well, today it was actually is well the last class it will be tomorrow. So today let's try to see a little bit of the next topic, which is this. Okay, so let's take a look to this. Let's see until where we can see, and if we don't have enough time to practice, we will continue tomorrow. All right, tomorrow we will see a very interesting topic, so I would like to practice about. So this is the next topic, Fleur. Let's take a look to the comic. So this is the first, well, picture or situation. Then we have the second one, and then we have the third. Okay, so what's happening in this comic, Fleur? What do you think it's going
It's a wedding.
on? Very good.
Um, all are waiting for the wife.
Mhm.
I know for the novia. How do I say?
How do you say? It's a good question. It's the bride.
The
All the,
bride. Yeah.
exactly right. All the people, or we can say everybody. Everybody is waiting. It's waiting for the bride. So let's take a look to this. Sorry, 1 second. Sometimes when I write on the screen, it gets frozen. All right. So let's see each of the well, the pictures or the situations one by one. So what do you, can we read the bubble here, please?
We are late, Do hurry up.
All right. So do you find any weird thing, something strange in this exam, in this sentence? Something odd, something extra that looks like it's not correct, maybe, or
Maybe do hurry up.
all right. How do we usually say when we want someone to do something fast?
Just hurry up.
Exactly, very good. Okay, let's pay attention to the second one. Let's read it, please.
I did tell you she be late.
All right. So same question. Do you find anything strange in this sentence? In this sentence?
The verb be.
All right. What about the first did? Is it correct? Does it look good there? What do you think?
mm,
Because we have two verbs, right? I did tell you.
Yes.
Usually I think we will say, no, I told you that maybe, no? I told you she'd be late. So it's a little bit weird. Now we have two verbs there. All right, let me continue. Okay, and the final one, can we read the bubble, please?
She does look beautiful.
All right, same question. Do you find anything strange in this sentence?
The auxiliary does
The
it's not
auxiliary.
necessary.
It seems like it's not necessarily, right? So it's the same thing, no? Sometimes we will just say, she looks beautiful, no? But the does is like extra. So let's see why all of these verbs were there. So these auxiliary verbs, like you mentioned, are used for emphasis. So let's go back and see again. So pay attention to how I say it. No, we are late, you know. Do hurry up. Okay, first example. Second one, do hurry up. I did tell you she'd be late. I did tell you she'd be late. And finally, she does look beautiful. She does look beautiful. So I'm putting emphasis when I'm saying each of the auxiliary verbs, right? Because we can use them sometimes in present or past to give something an special importance. So in these examples, we've seen do, but sometimes in present and sometimes in past, right? So in this example, let's go back one more time. Here, the emphasis is in hurry up. No, do hurry up. Do hurry up. No? So I want someone to like really hurry up, basically. No? And here is like emphasizing, I already tell you about this, basically. No, I did tell you that she'd be late. No, emphasizing that. And finally, here it's emphasizing how beautiful she looks. No, she does look beautiful. No, she does look beautiful. So I'm emphasizing how beautiful she is. So that's basically the use of some auxiliary verbs. I can also use be, and sometimes I can use have, or some models to emphasize this, whatever I want to give some importance. No, so let's see some examples. Can we read this example, please?
A lot of people didn't believe me, but he was telling the truth.
Excellent. In this example, what verb is this?
Was
Uh-huh.
is
What auxiliary verb is? Is do, have, or be?
is be.
Be, exactly. No, it's in past tense. So when we want to emphasize something, especially with the verb be and have and the rest, we don't change much. We just emphasize when we are speaking. So there is nothing strange here, right? This is just past continuous, right? The only thing that I do is to speak louder. No, I'm going to I'm going to emphasize this word when I'm talking. So for example, a lot of people didn't believe Nick, but he was telling the truth. So I'm speaking a little bit louder, right? When I say was, and emphasizing the verb be, because I'm emphasizing that Nick was telling the truth. He was telling the truth. No? So that's the first example. Any questions up here until here?
Sorry, teacher, what did you say?
Oh, sorry. If you have any questions.
Oh, no, I am not.
Okay, good. So let's go now and let's see some of the rules to talk or to use some of these models or auxiliary verbs to emphasize. So now another example. So in this example, we emphasize no, putting more stress. Stress means that no, speak louder, basically, when we speak. And when we put a stress in a word, we make it longer and strong. So I'll be Patty, sorry, and you're going to be Nick. And you have to try, you're gonna try to emphasize the word have. You're gonna try to put some stress when you say it, okay? So I'll start Patty and you will be Nick, okay?
Okay.
Hey Nick, you should see this commercial.
I have seen it.
Excellent, yes. So we're emphasizing not that you already have seen the commercial. So you're saying I have seen it. No, you put some stress. And in this example, no, this is the auxiliary verb. No? And let's just remember that we have to emphasize it, putting a stress when we speak. No, we make it longer and stronger. I have, no, longer, have. All right. Let's see another example. I'll be Amy, and you will be Nick. All right. Did you know that Talia was offering a job in Chicago?
No, I didn't know that.
Excellent. Yes. So sometimes when I have negatives, I can put them, I can separate them. So let me share. I can put them separately, and in that way, I make more emphasis. So could you, I'll read the first one again, you read the second one. Try to put some emphasis here, okay? Did you know that Talia was offering a job in Chicago?
No, I did not know that.
Excellent. So usually we always use contractions, right? However, when we want to emphasize, we can separate the words just to try to make it longer and stronger, not to put emphasis and stress in this word. So we don't just say, I didn't know that, no, or I did not know that. We go, no, I did not know that. No, I'm making it longer and strong. All right, so any questions? Sure.
No.
All right, let's continue seeing some examples. So the rule comes with do, with auxiliary verb do, because we know that do usually change the verb, right? So in the present or past, it takes out some of the rules, right? For especially for the present, simple present or past simple. So it changes a little bit. Let's see an example. Now, when we use do or does or did, and we have, for example, a he, she, or it, we usually add an S here, no? But when we use do, that rule doesn't exist. So let's see this first example. I'll be Josh and you will be Amy, okay? Too bad you don't like soccer, Amy.
I do like soccer.
Excellent. So in this example, no, usually we wouldn't put, we wouldn't say, or we wouldn't add do, right? To this verb. You will just say, I like soccer, right? But because we're giving emphasis, you add this extra word. In the previous example, the only thing that we did for the verb, sorry, I want to read. For the verb be, which was, I believe is, or it could be are, or it could be or it could be past or what present or simple. No, it could be was or it could be were. You just emphasize the word, saying it louder and longer, right? With the verb have is the same. Have, has, or had. You just put stress in the words. However, or with the modals the same. With all of the modals, we just add emphasis. However, we add it. It's extra. That's why remember in the first part of the example, I asked you, do you find anything strange in these sentences? Because we're adding the auxiliary verb do, and it changed a little bit the rule. So that's why here we're adding it, no? And it comes before the verb, not before the main verb, we add do. Let's see the second example. I'll be Patty and you will be Nick, okay? It seems like just yesterday.
It does seem like yesterday.
Excellent, great. So you're putting emphasize. However, we are also adding this extra auxiliary verb here, no? It does seem like yesterday. No, you're emphasizing that, yes, yes, I agree with you, basically. So it comes before the main verb, no? In this, especially in the second example, I want you to pay attention to this. So usually here, the verb, it's the same, right? I like soccer. If I will say the same thing without emphasizing, I will continue saying, no, I like soccer. However, in the second example, it does seem like yesterday. Usually we will say, it seems like yesterday, no? But because I'm adding, does, this is auxiliary verb to emphasize, no? It does seems, we take out the S. Do you understand? No, just because we have this extra auxiliary verb there, it kind of changed a little bit our rule, our sentence. No, because it continues acting like our auxiliary verb. No, this especially do acts on well, in present acts on he, she, it, taking out the rule, no, of adding an S. And in past simple is the same, no, of our questions, remember? No, the verb is the same. So that's the thing that I wanted to pay attention to, no? No, we're not saying the same, no? It does seems like yesterday, it's incorrect. Because we have the auxiliary verb before the main verb, we take out the S. No, the rule for it, it's eliminated basically. All right, any questions up till here?
No.
Okay, so no worries, we're going to practice a little bit tomorrow. And let's see the last one. I'll be Nick and you will be Patty. I guess things work out for Jackie.
And for you too. And for you too. You did score the winning goal.
Excellent. So same thing, no? Because they're talking about the past, right? They worked out, they're saying. No, I guess things worked out for Jackie. And he's saying, oh, and for you too. So usually we will say here, let me erase everything. And we will finish with this, okay? So because here, usually we will say you scored, not past. I will continue with the past simple, right? You scored. However, because I'm using do or did, no, as emphasizing, again, the verb that follow the auxiliary verb is going to change and it doesn't go in past, no? We already know that The auxiliary verb, it acts on the verb, right? And even when it's an affirmative statement, right? Um, even when it's an affirmative statement, because we have did acts on the verb and it's representing a past tense, no? Continues to past tense. I guess things work out for you and you did score the winning goal. No? And emphasizing, however, because I have did, it's expressing past, no? That's the
Mhm.
use of do. Usually this is the one that confuses maybe a little bit more because of these rules, but it's the only one. The rest is basically the same. Now let's finish with this last one and I will complete this explanation tomorrow. So because it's already 8 and I don't want you to be late. So, well, the same thing. Now, if the main verb in the sentence is be, we can emphasize in the same way, just emphasizing the word. With that, nothing changes in this sentence. No? Can we try to read the sentence emphasizing was, please?
Nick was innocent.
Excellent. So when we just need emphasizing while we speak. That's all. No, Nick was innocent. Remember, let's make it longer and stronger. All right. So any questions, Flor? We will finish this last, and we have some exercises too up here, so we can practice. We will continue tomorrow. Is that okay?
Yes, for the moment, it's okay.
Okay, great. So we will finish a little bit more. And the other topic is very interesting. I really like this topic. So this is it will be the last topic, which is phrasal verbs. So because tomorrow is the last class, I have to assign the quizzes, no? But I can give you maybe until Thursday because the next model will start on Friday. So is that okay, Fleur, if I assign the quizzes until Thursday night? So you have some time to work on them?
Uh, Thursday.
Yes. Because on Friday, we will start the next model. Pero te podría sugerir, yo sé que tú trabajas y obviamente el tiempo y toda la dinámica es porque tú trabajas. Si quieres, tal vez le podríamos pedir o tú le podrías solicitar tal vez, si es posible, a la coordinadora que tal vez te dé un poco más de tiempo y tal vez mover la clase del viernes al lunes, así iniciamos el siguiente módulo y puedes tener el tiempo para trabajar, ¿no es cierto? El fin de semana en los exámenes y tal vez las asignaciones. Pero es una sugerencia, ¿no? Tal vez podrías
Mm,
hablar con ella si deseas. Porque no sé si te va a dar
sí,
tiempo, ¿no? En días de trabajo sé que tú, ¿no? Los fines de semana, ¿no? Generalmente has trabajado los exámenes, los ejercicios, entonces, si deseas yo puedo hablar un poco con ella, pero en sí tú tendrías que solicitarle, ¿no?
¿quién es la coordinadora?
Ahora es Ruth. Te voy a pasar creo que tienes, pero te voy a pasar su contacto, porque tendrías que terminar todas las asignaciones y todos los quizzes, aparte del quiz final, ¿no? De la A12, porque mañana en teoría es la última clase, ¿no? Esa es el último tema de la A12,
Sí,
¿no es cierto?
sí,
No te va a dar
yo le
tiempo.
voy a, yo le voy a pedir entonces a Ruth.
Ok. Sí, porque la verdad, como justo toca en medio, generalmente toca, ¿no? Fin de semana para que trabajes, pero esta vez un poquito el calendario no ha trabajado muy bien. Entonces, de todas formas, yo te voy a asignar y bueno, yo creo que ella igual se va a comunicar conmigo y yo te largo el plazo, no hay problema. Pero si le clicas, no haga ningún problema porque siempre hemos estado, no todas las clases, no ha habido una postergación ni nada por el estilo en el calendario, ¿no? Entonces, te mandaré el polls, por favor, para la encuesta de hoy. Y eso sería todo, Flor. Voy a quedar atenta al mensaje que puedas hablar, ¿no? Con Ruth y me haces saber y ella me va a hacer saber, yo creo.
Ok, está bien.
Ok. Ya te mandé el polls, today's polls. Ok, ¿te llegó, Flor? Tal vez no te llegó. Creo que... Ah, está,
Sí,
súper. Ok, está un poquito lento el internet. Ok, Flor, entonces eso sería todo. Muchas gracias. Voy a quedar atenta y cualquier cosita me dicen nomás, por favor.
ujú.
Ok, have a good day, Flor. See you tomorrow.
See you. Bye.
Bye bye.